And then you don't have to worry about String Bean and Damien's match because that one's going to time. So we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. All right.
This matchup will matter how fast TJ can start off and whether he has a cavern or not on the time it comes to do his stuff.
We got
Saga's also really good.
turn 1 Grazer, and I see Amulet in hand and a Saga there, so gonna play the map first.
TJ's in a spot with his castle and the Saga that he doesn't actually have to play this Amulet and put it in any harm's way. To like Prismatic Ending in March. Like you're better off leaving this Amulet in your hand, getting the untapped triggers when you try to play your Simic Growth Chamber later.
Right. And he gets to tutor up a cavern here. That's gonna be really good.
This is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So in terms of fast starts, TJ probably couldn't have had a better one. Obviously, turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Amulet win is a pretty good start. But like, you are playing against the
Solitude deck.
The Solitude deck, the Prismatic Ending deck, the Counterspell deck.
March deck.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that just does. So we're going to play Valakut, untap it. Another hard card for Control to deal with at times. Maybe not necessarily in this matchup because they have to have a Dryad for Valakut to be relevant. But like, normally like Scape Shift and stuff like that is generally fine against Control because they're like, I don't care what you do, I'm just playing lands and shooting you. Which like Spreading Seas would be important, but I don't even know if Lucas plays any. If he does, it's probably only like 2.
Gotcha. What's up, Kyle?
I think Kyle's sad.
Yeah, that was a tough match. You get stuck on one land. Triple welding jar, though. All right. Lucas have a land drop?
Yeah, he does. I think he's debating. It isn't really about the land. It's more or less like, what am I going to do this turn? Baby's Fairy. This can bounce the Saga or the Amulet. Assume it's bouncing Saga.
I think you got to bounce Saga. Yeah, he is. TJ's going to make a construct. Someone get that mana token. I think they are.
I think, yeah, Damien's getting one.
Anima.
He's like, I'm not writing, bro.
He's not even writing construct on it. That's fine. It's a construct.
I mean, if there's a token in play with Amulet, we all know what it is. So Lucas had to decide to basically sack his Teferi to not let TJ have multiple Amulets. He does have an Archmage's Charm in hand, I believe. So he gets to kind of disrupt a little bit at times. And a Solitude, it looks like. This goes up. Lands come down.
So I think TJ's just, he's got all the setup, but he's just shy on the big payoff threat, I believe.
Yeah, because he has, like, he even has an Azusa.
And he already used his map, so he can't really tutor up like a TOS with this Saga or anything. But making big constructs and beating down is also a good backup plan.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. Because this construct in play, if not dealt with, will be a 5/5 at the end of this. Of course, like, if it's not dealt with entirely, you know. Because TJ will be able to make a construct, make another construct, and then get the Amulet from fetching with Saga. So that's 3 constructs and 2 amulets, so they're all 5/5s, and then he's swinging 10.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Lucas does get a window to resolve a memory deluge there. See what he can do.
Going to Prismatic and the Amulet.
Oh, he probably has one floating. That was Mystic Gate, I'm guessing.
And then March.
March X is 0. Wow. So making double white off Mystic Gate there to do that. TJ still has some constructs. Think Lucas is interested in charming one of these constructs at one point?
Well, the only problem is you got a Plains. So it's very bouncy one's
Tap
also going to
bounce
be
one,
good.
Yep. Okay, Luke is able to answer most of TJ's board there.
Well, top deck Amulet's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dead Fairy's fine. We still have a Cavern, so like, I isn't too worried in terms of like trying to hold up a ton of counter magic, I imagine. Land drop 1. Uninteractable, because no triggers went on the stack. So, to being sure not to give him a chance to do much to the Azusa if you wanted to. Because that's one mistake you'll see some people make, is they want to make multiple land drops. They'll play with Dryad. They'll play the one that causes a trigger to happen.
Oh.
And then they're able to respond and kill the Dryad, so you don't actually get your second land drop.
Land drop, that makes sense.
But if you play a land drop without a trigger effect, the priority's never passed.
Right.
So you get to play your other one.
Right. Epic Boon, thanks for the follow.
And sometimes that happens a lot when you're talking about Amulet Titan, because you play so many bounce lands, and you're like, at this point, I'm just going to play bounce lands. And then it messes it up. So TJ was on blue-white for a little bit, which is actually, he was borrowing Lucas's deck.
Right. And
So at this point,
Luke's was playing a lot of Tron, I think. Charm, draw 2. It's a
there's a
March.
ton of cards in hand. The issue in these spots for like a control deck is sometimes you can have a lot of cards in your hand and they're not relevant, but it looks like a lot of these cards are. I think he has another Archmage's Charm. He has a counter spell in terms of like dealing with like a Summoner's Pact or something. He also has a March in hand, I believe.
That was a Titan TJ just ripped.
So
Jam the Cavern.
Cavern, here comes a Titan. We still also have a Solitude in Lucas's hand, I believe.
Yeah. No Amulet in play, though, for TJ, too, so this Titan's not the most insane Titan.
We're probably going to see 2 Sagas get grabbed here, if I had to guess. Or it could be Bounce Land and T-West. To be able to just, like, get a Dryad eventually. I'm not sure.
What's that big guy?
These spots are, like, your awkward spots in Titan.
It looks like Bounce Land and T-West.
So looking like at the time he did consider a Saga, or there could have just been one on the bottom, obviously.
What's that big guy? Bounce a Forest. Go. No attacks. Maybe he's scared of a Shark Typhoon there.
Could be.
Verdict.
Cleans up this board. Then the monkey.
Go. Play land on top 2 lands.
Untaps. Draw. Picks him up. Says you're too far ahead.
Yeah.
I don't have to stay here.
Lucas
on him all again. Looks like he's down to 5.
Wow.
I believe. Unless I missed them all. I was kind of just gawking around in this room, you know. My phone's charged enough. I can finally pull up the chat. I've been trying to like look over your shoulder and stuff. Okay, starting off with a Cavern. Don't know what it's named on. It's probably on like an early threat, like a Dryad or an Azusa.
Yeah, like
or it was just a placeholder for whenever we bounce it.
Gotcha.
So wouldn't be surprised if we see Cavern, Dryad, or Azusa if he has it. He does have an Azusa.
Aether Gust gets around Cavern.
Puts it on bottom. Says I don't really care about that too much. Aether Gust, not a counter effect. Choose target spell or permanent, red or green. Its owner puts it on top or bottom of their library. We have another Cavern naming Azusa. Says Aether Gust is sun. We have Valakut entering. We have a bounce land. First sure you're going on a stack that allows Lucas to respond if he wants to.
Counterspell the map.
Says, I'm okay with not letting you go get something like a Teleria West or a Saga to get out of these spots. It's a tough counter spell for Lucas to have to do, sorta. Because you've had to maul so much. And your opponent just has so many of these. This is a draw too.
I was gonna say, it's like surely TJ just played the Cavern first, right? Like,
Yeah.
played Cavern and named Giant.
He needed, I want to say he needed a white card to Solitude this. If he even wants to. The only problem is if TJ gets to attack with it. This, because I think Lucas has a Wandering Emperor in hand. Yeah, that proves my point that there was one in hand.
Yeah.
You would still get the triggers. Also, if TJ gives it the haste, it also gives it vigilance, so it's no longer tapped for the Wandering Emperor to exile it.
Yeah. That's
So like small little things like that matter. So like we're gonna see it bite the dust. He does have another one in hand, but I do not know if he has a way to do it. Oh, he bought Kahira, so yeah, he does technically have a way to do it.
TJ has an Amulet and a T-West in hand, though.
So he says, smack you on the noodle. Is this a beast within? I'm pretty sure it is.
In
Hey, look
TJ's
up
hand?
beast within, please. Let's scroll through the arts. Do they pop up? Yeah. So he has that art, a beast within. So one of these is in his hand. This is for your big Teferis, your Wandering Emperors. Your, like, for example, the Hall. They can also get a Hall and stuff like that. Deal with any threat. Like, a 3/3 is much easier to deal with than a 7/7 with Ward 3. But we'll see how that card becomes relevant later if it gets to that. Another bounce land. Picking up another Teleria West. We do now have an Amulet in hand. A Chalice on 0. Turning off the Summoner's Pact. We can hard cast a Solitude now.
TJ has to pay for a pact here, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Yep.
Which, bro, he's got so much mana.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
Amulet. Is that another prime time in hand too?
I do not know. If it's the same like border, I thought it was the Beast Within. Because the Beast Within
I see.
has the same border as the prime time.
Pretty similar.
So we see this get Solitude.
Solitude. I think TJ might have gone to, like, had said it, go to combat.
Right. So we go up another 6. Here goes our land. Good thing it's the bulk one, not the cavern. Explore. Draw. Relic on 1. Mattering now, because some people play Snapcaster. Not necessarily Lucas,
Wait,
but it's for memory deluge.
Yeah, he's on Kahira, but yeah, it gets deluge, which isn't nothing.
And sometimes you just put it in because it's just better than your 33rd land. Like,
Big guy, what does that even mean?
Relic 4-1, bro. I said Relic on 1.
Oh, you said relic on 1. I see.
I'm stupid. I don't know. The house got me messed up.
Relic 4-1 mana.
Yeah, I said on 1, but I meant 4. You know, leave me alone, chat. I'm getting bullied.
Okay. Kahira. Attack for 4 vigilance, lifelink.
Deciding if we want to make it. Gonna make a saga. He's gonna block. Or I said make a saga. Now they got me messed up. Make a token. He's gonna block, and that's why. Oh no, he didn't block. I thought he was. That's why he didn't grab the paper at first.
Gotcha.
Wonderwalk, you're my homie, bro. Living in gamers are my favorite. Another amulet. I'm so excited right now.
Stuff might.
I'm gonna play an Emrakul.
I did not see that in his hand.
He says, "Yo, you got a call?"
I'm dying. Lucas's eyes. Someone clip that.
Okay. So the one of Misty fetching, we're gonna get a forest right on bottom, right where we wanted it. Put an amulet into play. So DJ having an amulet early, it's a little concerning on the side for Lucas if he doesn't have like a great way to deal with it soon. Because an amulet on turn 1 gives you so much value in terms of playing cards. Like, he's going to be able to put a Dryad down next turn without having to do a whole lot of work. Deals with it. Says map. Wait, does he just have the Emrakul in hand again? He does.
Oh wow.
Oh boy.
Ooh, an
Ashiok.
Okay. You cannot search with that map.
I'll play a Dryad instead. Make a land drop, pick this up. He has a backup Dryad as well, so if this Dryad dies, or gets exiled, you're just not gonna be too upset about it. Getting bounced is also not a real problem. So losing isn't even bothering taking down Ashiok, which I think is right. You only really have it in here, so TJ's not able to search.
Yeah, there's not much of a point at all to.
There's only like one argument I've seen where you could do it in terms of like, oh, if I hit some of his combo lands, it's like a lot less scary. If he does get to put a Titan down, he just gets to go potentially get 2 lands, like if something happens to the Ashiok. But there's no reason to put it in danger.
Is that a Titan or a
Swinging
Beast
it
Within?
Baby to Fairy. Doing it now. TJ does have 6 mana. This Suva is a copy of Simic Growth Chamber, I believe.
Okay. Instant speed, prismatic ending.
He messed up. He thought he had another color.
Those are both blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
So he's not able to exile it.
Gotcha.
Or it was either that or like potentially thought he had a March and was going to exile a card and went, oh wait, no, I can't do that.
I think it was the prismatic ending. Didn't realize he only had 2 colors with it.
I would assume that's what it has to be. Just throwing options out there, you know.
Chalice. 1/0.
He says, got you now.
Now we'll cast prismatic ending with 3 colors.
Again, this is a spot where I don't think TJ cares entirely too much. Just for the fact that it's like, I have another one in hand.
Beast Within that Ashiok.
So you're tapped out for the most part, unless you put in Spell Pierce against the Amulet deck, which I would not imagine anybody's doing that.
Wouldn't think. Gets a 3/3.
Somebody just had a 3/3 Beast.
No,
Oh,
TJ.
it's from Thragtusk. Jordan had one.
Oh, gotcha.
I was like, who just had a Beast like laying around? Because TJ didn't even have his Construct tokens. There's no way he just had his Beast to give his opponents.
Daniel, Titan does not have Through the Breach. They just can sometimes get enough mana to cast it like we saw last game.
Now, there are some lists that do play Through the Breach.
Gotcha. I don't think TJ's list is one
No,
of those,
he's
but-
not. He's not on it. He yelled at me whenever I was doing it. He's like, why are you doing that? I was like, because it's funny. And then it got solituded one time and I cried.
Is that our boy, Cultivator Colossus?
Oh, no. A card for control that you do not want to see. Especially knowing Emrakul's in this deck. You do not want to see Amulet Titan just putting down additional lands and drawing 2 non-land cards there.
Black Lotus Guy 1, thanks for the follow. So how much mana does TJ have now? 6,
7, 8, 9. 10.
If you count Castle Garenbrig.
Yeah, because it can. Emrakul's a creature, you know. It can technically do what it wants.
Baking Soda 98, thanks for the follow. A Drunken Man, thanks for the follow. Lucas has Dress Down. That doesn't deal with the take an extra turn part of the cast trigger.
So DJ does something really smart here in terms of attacking before trying to play a potential. Oh, he has another Cultivator.
You were meaning Dress Down for the Colossus, I see, my bad.
That or like the Primeval Titan, but what if TJ's plan was to play the Titan there? It was good for him to attack first, so he knows that he has the Dress Down in the hand, so he doesn't play his Primeval Titan, not get to search.
Right.
So he gets to just like wait a turn and do it. But TJ's not in a rush. He has this big 7/7, I think, or 6/6.
6, yeah.
And he's just like, I'll just start hitting you. It's a 2-turn clock, 3-turn clock, potentially.
Hardcast Solitude.
Gain 6. Sort of what TJ I imagine wanted to see Solitude come out of Lucas's hand. So if he does ever get to the point where he's like casts Emrakul, it's not going to get Solitude.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Chahira to Lucas's hand.
Float a mana with Cavern. Play the land, bounce the Cavern. Play it on Plant or Titan. I like to say Plant instead of Beast for Cultivator because I think it's funnier. Here comes Titan. Everything's fine. Lucas says, sure, man. Go ahead and search it up. Now TJ's got to think about what he wants to do. He's probably just going to end up grabbing like good lands to ramp a little bit. Luke's sitting on a March counter spell. Kahira and a Verdict, it looks like. Did somebody say he had a dress down in his hand earlier?
Yeah,
I don't see one.
Said Lucas did.
It looks like Verdict, Counterspell, Kahira, and March. But
oh, just dressed down in the deck. I see.
It depends. I don't know what list he's modeled his after. Sometimes they play two in the main, one in the side, one main, one side. Like, it's very weird. It fluctuates a ton. But so the Dryad gets countered. Or not Dryad? What got countered?
I missed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait. I was like, did he cast something else that got countered and then Windmill slammed Dryad? It was probably just one of those situations like when you're the Amulet player and you resolved your Primeval Titan. You're like, oh, they obviously don't have a counter spell. They would have countered this. But like realistically you did it off a Cavern, so it couldn't be countered.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sometimes that happens. March. Exiling 2 Verdicts. That's not enough. We need 2 more. TJ trolling him. Saying, hey man, you want to actually exile this? You gotta pay 2 more, brother. So Lucas is to 2 cards in hand. One of them TJ knows is a Kahira that he put in his hand earlier. He doesn't have to worry about the Verdict as much anymore. And I believe this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think he's at 14 mana. So I could have counted wrong though. 6. Yeah. We activate the castle. Play the Cavern. Okay, there's our 15th mana.
It's we're probably gonna play naming Eldrazi.
Yeah, just messing with them. DJ is trolling his opponent today.
Poor Lucas.
I'm pretty sure he's developing a migraine as he's playing right now. Can you tell the pain and agony? He's like, I could have stayed home today. So the spell can be countered when you cast spell, take an extra turn after this one. flying, protection from color spells, Annihilator 6. And then when it gets put in the bin, shuffle your stuff in. Only answer is a Solitude. Or I guess dress down, sort of. Maybe. Kind of.